Today on CCX News, the choice for chief, how Brooklyn Center came around to naming its new police leader. A familiar face will be taking over as Brooklyn Center's new chief of police. The city named Garrett Flesland police chief after what city leaders describe was a comprehensive process involving a nationwide search. Flesland has been with Brooklyn Center Police since 2000, serving in numerous roles, including patrol officer, detective, sergeant, and for the last 8 years, commander. He replaces Kellis McDaniel, who retired in January. City manager Reggie Edwards calls Flesland a, quote, transformative leader with a strong commitment to the city of Brooklyn Center. Police departments across the West Metro responded to a standoff and hostage situation that lasted 18 hours before ending early Thursday morning. The incident happened just across the Maple Grove border in Corcoran. Police say an armed person was barricaded inside a home and had taken another person hostage. The hostage was released after several hours of negotiation. Nearby residents were also evacuated and unable to get into their homes until early Thursday. Police say the armed individual surrendered, suffering from what they say was an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, and was taken to the hospital. Heads up Highway 169 drivers, another bridge is coming down. That not only impacts the weekend commute, but could also impact businesses like Arizona Taco Company.
I mean, the businesses here in this strip mall are going to probably, I would estimate probably lose at least 60% of their clientele.
The 36th Avenue Bridge over 169 in Plymouth is set to be demolished. That means 169 will be closed in both directions between Interstates 94 and 394 this weekend. Those closures start Friday night and wrap up early Monday morning. After that, there will be no access to 169 from 36th Avenue. Arizona Taco owner Marcos Ayala says he hopes people still find a way to support local businesses.
We're here and we're open. And same great customer service, same great food that we've been doing, and I hope that they do support us and still come out.
The Minnesota Department of Transportation says they're demolishing and rebuilding the bridge to make it taller and safer. Construction should finish in October. Maple Grove is testing out a unique method this summer to improve its trails. As Delane Cleveland reports, city officials say this new method is designed to help the Public Works Department save time and money.
Maple Grove has more than 135 miles of park trails.
This is one of the loop trails that goes around the Arbor Lakes area.
Public Works and Engineering Director Chris LaBounty says the widely used trails near the government center are more than 20 years old, and they're beginning to show their age.
So to start in understanding what our maintenance and replacement needs will be, we have to understand what the condition of the pavement is right now.
To help the city better understand the condition of the pavement, they've called in some help from a Golden Valley engineering firm. For the last week, this utility task vehicle has been making its way through the city, using cameras and sensors to look at every crack, bump, and imperfection on Maple Grove's trail system.
So on the top is that technology that's collecting the data. So it's taking pictures similar to like a street view that you might see online. Then it takes that data, and then after it collects it, ties it to the actual trail segment. After the fact, it'll use that to analyze the pavement condition.
The UTV can do in 3 weeks what it would take the city's public works employees an entire summer to accomplish. In LaBounty's mind, it's worth the $35,000 price tag.
Historically, the city would use just, we call it like the windshield test or the walking test. So we'd have members of our streets or parks department take a look at the condition and then try to evaluate and rank them against each other.
The UTV, on the other hand, will use artificial intelligence to come up with ratings for the condition of the pavement. With that precise data, the city will be able to make a more informed decision when it comes time to replace the aging trails.
Although we have limited funding to do that. So the rating work that we're doing will make sure that we're putting those dollars in the areas of the most need, where we're able to do the most amount of benefit for the entire community.
In Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
For many people, summertime isn't complete without a visit to the pool. As Kevin Miller reports, a project in Crystal is making sure the Aquatic Center can welcome summer visitors for years to come.
Normally this time of year we'd be getting ready to open the Crystal Cove Aquatic Center. The pool would have water in it, we'd be getting lifeguards trained, and just getting geared up for the year.
It's not a typical year at Crystal Cove.
Very different not having the pool open this year. It's been around since 1968.
Although the pool's capacity is 896, today it's only holding a rain puddle. But there's a good reason to keep the gates locked.
It's going to be closed this year for reconstruction. There's a lot of excitement about what's to come, though.
Crystal Recreation Director John L. Holmes says the aging pool is getting a big remodel.
Part of the pool was remodeled 20 years ago, and that was primarily the zero-depth pool. This time around, we're looking at the original pool structure built in 1968, and it's going to be totally replaced.
The new pool is just one part of the nearly $6 million makeover planned for Crystal Cove. The water slides and their rusty framing are also on their way out.
So this summer we'll be replacing the slide that you see behind me. It's 30 years old and at the end of its life. We are looking to rebuild it with a different slide. The current plan shows for a tube slide and then one that is an open slide.
They're also demolishing the bridge that takes swimmers to the slides. He says it will make the pool more accessible for everyone.
That was a key thing when we were looking at features, is making sure it's as accessible to people with mobility impairments as possible. So we'll be able to have a sidewalk around behind the slides instead of having a need for a bridge.
Although it's an expensive project, it's one that has community support.
We spent a couple years talking to the public and finding out just how important is this resource to the community. It was very clear that it's a service that people like to see in Crystal.
In Crystal, Kevin Miller, CCX News.
The city of Crystal hopes to reopen the Aquatic Center in 2025.